Hi, hey, hello, and welcome to my first stash busting video. If you're new here, my name is Clara and I'm the creator behind Strawberry Cloud Studio. This is where I do all things creative. Right now it's mostly knitting. And in today's video, I'm going to be starting my stash busting series. So if you're here, you've probably seen my stash video because that is my most watched video by far right now. And you might be wondering, or you might be curious to see what I'm going to be making out of all of that yarn. I did mention in that video that I kind of want to reduce my stash a little bit, so I thought it would be fun to make a stash busting series where I take you along on that journey. So today in the first video, I'm going to be kind of upcycling an old project of mine that I don't really wear, and I'm going to be using stash yarn to do it. As I'm filming this, it's actually a couple of weeks later and I'm currently editing the video, but I realized that the first clip has terrible quality because the lighting was bad. So I apologize for that, and I promise you it's only the first minute of the video. After that, it gets better. So I hope you enjoy the journey of me making that first piece, and without further ado, let's jump right in. This is a slip over or vest that I made last fall, and I kid you not, ever since making it I have worn it a total of 30 minutes. I don't really know why, because I like the fabric, I like the color. I think it's mostly the fit. So I freehanded this, and it's not too tight, but it's a tighter fit than I would like for a slip over, and then it's also very cropped, so I kind of just don't gravitate towards it and haven't really worn it except for a single time for a Zoom interview, and that didn't go well. So now all of the emotions and memories I've attached to this are bad, and therefore I have decided to frog this. Now you may be wondering what that has to do with stash. I guess the first step is unraveling this. Alright, so I'm finished now with undoing the bind off. This took probably about half an hour, so definitely longer than I expected. Also had a few losses. I don't know if you can tell, but all the yarn from the bind off, it kind of ripped because the mohair was a lot more felted than I expected. I think technically I'm now ready to just unravel. It's definitely easier now, like you can see it just unravels easily. However, I just realized that I should probably undo the finishing on the armholes and the neck first, because that might get really ugly if I get to here and it messes up the yarn. So I guess I should do that first. I'm finally onto the back panel, so I'm now officially almost done. I don't know what I was thinking, because before I started this, I was truly expecting, I guess I wasn't thinking, because I was truly expecting to be done with this within maybe an hour. And I kid you not, I haven't even looked at the time, let me check. It is almost 10 p.m. now, and I want to say I started at 7:30. To be fair, I did take a few short breaks, but this entire process has probably taken me 2.5 hours. So do I think I will be doing this again anytime soon? No. I really just want to go to bed, but you know, I was so close to finishing at least the unraveling part that I couldn't stop. I also swear I've breathed in so much mohair in the process of this. I also have mohair all over me. We've reached the end, finally. Alright, so this is my little yarn ball collection. I would say these two are quite sizable, they're fine. This one's also still okay, but then here I have just a bunch of really tiny ones. Oh, and there's my darning needle. I think that's gonna be annoying, but you know, whatever. We got it done. And now I can knit something new out of them. I have some bad news. It is day 2 of this endeavor of making a cardigan out of my vest. And today I did some research on Reddit to see if people recommend washing frog yarn. And they do. There were a few people who said they just used the yarn unwashed and it was fine, but the majority of people said that they had issues with gauge and that as much as they blocked the finished piece, they couldn't get the part of the frog yarn and the unfrog yarn to match. So I guess I have to wash it. But because I don't have a winder, I hand wound them, and obviously I can't wash these balls because they'll never dry on the inside. So I have to make skeins out of these, or I don't know what you call them, the skeins without the skeening up. I have to unwind these, wash them, and then hand wind these again. I guess I have nothing left to say other than let's get started. I have a book review video / book drama video ready, 40 minutes long. I hope that's gonna be enough, but let's just get started. One more thing, I also realized yesterday that I forgot to do something before unwinding, and that is I did not measure my gauge. I'm planning to knit the cardigan on the same size needles with the same yarn combination. So I literally had a garment-sized, blocked, and even worn gauge swatch, but I forgot to measure it. So now I either have to knit up a gauge swatch, but honestly, considering all the things I went through for unwinding and now washing the yarn, I'm just gonna risk it and hope I won't regret it. I think I've said everything. My camera is running out of battery. I guess this is the sign to just start. Alright, oh god, maybe one more thing. I'm not sure if this is the smartest thing to do, but I have this step stool and I'm just gonna wind the yarn around that because I feel like it has a good height and it can just like go around. I know a lot of people use chairs, but my chair is under a huge pile of clothes that I'm not willing to move, so I'll have to deal with this one for now. First one wound around my chair. Now I'm just gonna go to my scrap drawer. These are all the scraps from yesterday, and I'll just use some of the scrap yarn to bind the hang. I still don't know what it's called, but to bind this together basically. Here we have my first ramen noodle yarn. I guess I could technically skein it up now. Let me show you properly. I guess I could technically skein this up now, but the plan is to wash it and hopefully it'll look better after. Now I just have to repeat this process 10 more times, I think. 9 or 10 more times. Yay, I'm gonna be here for a while, I think.
A few moments later.
This is what we're working with. It kind of still looks the same as before. I'm gonna actually rinse it out and put it in the towel, dry it out, and then see how it looks after that. All right, so this is what we're working with. I don't have anything to hang this on. I did read that you're supposed to kind of stretch it out so the kinks go out, but I don't have anything else to dry this on. As you can see, this yarn still has quite a few kinks in it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit disappointed. I don't know what I was expecting, but I don't know. I think I was expecting it to actually come out straight. So I'm not sure if I did something wrong. Maybe my water was too cold because I used, oh my God, because I used cold water. Or maybe it's because I'm holding two yarns together and they obviously behave differently when wet. I would say the Lima is pretty stretchy, whereas the mohair is definitely not. So yeah, all of those are theories. I have no way to prove them or really figure out what the reason is. I do think it looks much better than before. My thoughts so far, I would say, are kind of in the middle. I think if the result is going to be good and my finished piece blocks out nice, I think it's definitely worth it because this took about an hour. I mean, I do have to wind them back up, but if you have a ball winder, that would obviously be way quicker. And even if I have to hand wind it, I think the entire process of, you know, unwinding it, washing it, and now winding it should only take about an hour and a half. So I do think that if it makes the end result much nicer, it's obviously worth it. You know, if I'm putting tens of hours into knitting the piece and it already took me 3 hours to unravel everything last night, I think having this step in the middle that takes an hour or two is definitely worth it if it makes the end result better. Obviously, I'm not gonna know if it makes the end result better because I won't have a comparison. But yeah, I mean, I think if you have a ball winder and maybe a little bit more space where you can hang this up to dry, I think it's definitely worth it. If you don't, I don't know yet. Quick update on my yarn. It is a day later now, and I would say they're almost dry. They've already been kind of dry to the touch since this morning. As I said, I have other yarn that I can cast on with, so I think I'm just gonna leave these hanging for another 1 or 2 days just to be safe. But I'm actually very surprised at how quickly these dried up. I was really worried about the yarn just not drying. I don't know why. Obviously it would dry, but it went way quicker than I expected, is what I'm trying to say. Hello and welcome to day 3. This is 6. Welcome to day 3 of this journey. On day 1 and day 2, I was just dealing with unraveling, but today I'm actually gonna cast on. I also got the yarn that I ordered today. So incidentally, I actually even got the kid silk in the exact same dye lot. And then the Drops Lima, let me show you. The 2 balls of Drops Lima that I bought are a different dye lot, but I feel like it's not noticeable, at least to me. To be fair, I'm not very good at seeing color, but I sent a picture to my friend asking her to spot the different balls of yarn, and if she can find the right ones, if she just says they all look the same, I'm just not gonna bother with like striping or anything like that. I'm just gonna use them and hope for the best. I do think that because of the kid silk, that is a slightly different color anyway, it's a little marled, so I don't think it's gonna be too obvious. Like, I don't know, these colors are just the same to me. And I'm lazy, so I don't think I'm gonna do anything. All right. The pattern that I'm using, I'm looking at my laptop here, is the Ariadne by Elisabetta Saron. I'll link it in the description. I'm so sorry if I pronounce that wrong. I found this pattern by just searching on Ravelry for patterns with all the, you know, with all the filters that I wanted. And then I also specifically tried to find a free pattern. This is a free pattern, however, I do have to say it only comes in one singular size. So what I believe this is just someone who made a pattern for themselves and then kind of uploaded it. I don't think this is a tested pattern. Again, it's definitely not graded. It is meant for a bust circumference of 92 centimeters. Don't ask me what that is in inches. I think it should be, oh god, oh wait, it actually says it there. So it's 92 centimeters or 37 inches. That's the finished garment. So for me, it's fine. I'm between, I don't know, I'm around a size small, something between extra small and small usually. So yeah, this is fine for me, but do keep that in mind. However, again, it is free, so I'm happy that I'm getting a free pattern. This uses 5mm needles. It's meant, or like suggested, to be made with Drops Air, which I don't have. I'm obviously going to be using my Drops Lima. I'm too lazy to knit a swatch, so I'm just going to be hoping for the best. And yeah, all that said, I think we can get started. So there's two things right off the bat that I'm going to learn with this pattern. The first one is that it calls for a provisional cast on, which I believe I've done a singular time like 3 years ago, and that went not well. So I'm hoping this time it will go better. I did watch another tutorial last night to figure out how to do that. I just have some white acrylic here and a crochet hook. I'm not sure what size crochet hook to use, but I'm just gonna go with a larger one. I don't really have a lot of crochet hooks, so I'm using this one. It's a 6mm one. And then the second thing is that this uses wrap and turn short rows, which I believe are a little bit different from German short rows. I don't know, I could probably like switch these out, but I figured, why not just try a new technique? Maybe I'll like it. I feel like most patterns I knit again, all of them just use German short rows. But hey, I'm always up to learn something new. So let's just get started. I need to provisionally cast on 100 stitches, so that's gonna take a while. This cast on took way longer than I expected, but I have it here now. I hope I did everything correctly, but I can't really see until the moment that I'll have to open the provisional cast on, so for now I just have to hope. I kind of feel like this looks massive, but then when I put it around my neck, it's fine. So this is the cast on for the body, basically, without the neckband. So obviously there's going to be more fabric here and I will be ribbed, but for now, this just looks kind of odd. Excuse the bad lighting, it is nighttime. It is also the next day. It is now Friday. I don't even know if I said the days. Anyway, it's Friday now. And I cast on yesterday and I finally finished the short dress. I say finally as if that was a long time, but this is what it's looking like so far. It's a little bit hard to see because it's dark. So far I'm happy with it. I did just measure my gauge and I'm above gauge. I don't know what it is. I used to think that I was a tight knitter, but lately I feel like I've been above gauge quite a lot, or like hitting gauge, but in this case I'm above. So my gauge is 17 stitches and around 24 rows when it's supposed to be 19 stitches and I believe 26 or 28 rows, but I don't really mind it. I'll see you once I have this split for the body and sleeves. Until then, it's probably gonna be a few days, not gonna lie. I'm loving how fast this is knitting up. Actually, I checked the last just stockinette, no lace, no nothing piece that I've knit was the clematis sweater, and I knit that in December and January. So it's been, I think, 3.5 months since I've knitted just stockinette piece. I mean, I did knit the Ophelia Bless, but even that was on super small needles. And then I also had the lace trim and crochet trim and everything. So the last truly just stockinette mindless project that I've knit was the Clamada sweater, and that was over 3 months ago. So knitting a just stockinette piece on 5mm needles is just incredible. It goes by so quickly and I don't have to think, and I love it. It's a few days later now and I just finished knitting the yoke. This is what it's looking like so far. It's a little bit hard to tell because it's very scrunched up. I did modify this a little bit by taking out 2 of the raglan increases because my gauge is off. So I have a larger row as well as a larger stitch gauge. So I decided to just take out 2 of the raglan increases. And yeah, I'm now finished with this and I'm ready to split for the sleeves and the body. I thought I would just show you this now and I'll do that together with you. Now I'm going to cast them for the underarms. Next sleeve. It has been a few days. Excuse the angle. Don't know what I'm doing here. It's late and I just wanted to film a real quick update on how the cardigan has been going. I think it's been 2 days since I last updated you. As you can see, a lot has happened. I've finished almost the entire body in those 2 days. I've been knitting a lot because today we had a day off from school, so I've basically just knit the entire day. Could I have spent it a little bit more productively? Probably, but I've just been obsessed with this project. So yeah, I think I knit from like about here. All of this is done today. I'm about halfway through the ribbing. It's a simple 2x2 rib. I did change the pattern a little bit, so I did the stockinette part a little bit shorter than specified, and I'm planning on making the ribbing a bit longer. So I want one of those really long rib sweaters or like cardigans. So I'm planning on doing about 4 inches of ribbing, and I'm about halfway through now. It's a little bit difficult to try on because my needles are too short. All right, this is what it looks like so far. It's looking very cropped. I'm planning on making it about this long, I would say. So it is still gonna be kind of a shorter cardigan, but I don't like them too long because I feel like they sit weird on my hips. So yeah, I'm going for a look about this long, maybe. It's been a couple of days. I've been quite busy for the past few days, so I didn't really work on it, but today I actually did quite a lot on my cardigan. As you can see, I now have finished the body and I did quite a long ribbing. Then I also did both the button bands. Oh god, it's a little bit difficult to show, but I did both of the button bands. And then I also just finished binding off the neck edge. And all of this is 2x2 ribbing, which I actually did the Italian bind off or tubular bind off for 2x2 ribbing for the first time, and it's a little bit confusing. I think I made a few mistakes, but overall it was okay. It's not that difficult if you know how to do Italian bind off, but I got confused a few times, so yeah, there's probably a few mistakes in there, but oh well. The neckline is quite wide, so I would like to add some elastic. I'm not sure how to do that with a neckline like this. I've only done it on folded necklines before, and there you can obviously just pull the elastic through the folded, tube. But I don't have that here, so I'm not sure how to do that, but yeah, that would be the goal. I also don't have any clear elastic that I can use for that, but at some point I would like to add elastic to that. Also try it on. So I'm sitting on my couch right now, so you can't really tell that well, but this is what it looks like. So all that's left to do now is the sleeves. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna try to get a rough estimate of how long I need to make them. I do usually measure it like this, and then I also try it on as I go, but I like to have a rough idea of how long to make the sleeves before starting them, so I know how to make the decreases, or so I can calculate where to decrease. I think I'm gonna go for 30 centimeters so that my decreases should be done by 30 centimeters. Or like 23 because of the ribbing. I'm gonna try to do the calculations, but I don't think I'm gonna actually put these on the needles tonight because it is, let me check the time. It is 11:15 and it's Sunday, so I have school tomorrow, which means I should probably go to bed soon. Good morning. I honestly don't know when I filmed last, like what the last update was that I gave you. I'm just gonna show you what I have so far. So last night I finished my first sleeve and picked up for the second, or rather put the stitches back on the needles. So now I only have to do the second sleeve and then do like the finishing touches, weaving in all the ends and stuff, and then I'll be done with this. I did make a little bit of a modification, so I shortened the sleeve. I always have to shorten the sleeves because I'm really short and I have short arms. But as a modification, I did longer ribbing on the sleeves as well. I already did that on the body and now they kind of match. I did 4 inches of ribbing on both the arms and the body. Did I do anything else? I decreased way faster. So I think my decreases end around here. That was not the goal. My goal was to have the decreases end kind of here and then just do the ribbing. But I don't know, I guess I miscalculated or something, or measured wrong. So yeah, my decreases ended around here, and then I just did stockinette and then the ribbing. There's one more kind of tragic thing. It's not really tragic, it's just kind of a fail. So remember how this is a stash busting video, or like a stash busting project? I reckon for the second sleeve, this should be fine, this should be enough. And then I'll have 2 balls of drops Lima and 1 ball of the kit set left over. I don't know if you remember, if you recall, but I actually ordered exactly that. I looked up the pattern. I didn't want to run out halfway through because I hate that, obviously. And I was, if I tell you that I was convinced I would need more yarn. The pattern said I would need more yarn. I thought I would need more yarn. My extrapolation from the piece that I had already made with this yarn combination, I thought I would need more yarn. So I bought more yarn when I was ordering something else anyway, because, I wanted to save the shipping. And now I'm gonna have that much left over probably. I might have to go into another ball of drops Lima, but I really don't think it was worth it for like, I don't know, this much of drops Lima to buy an entire 2 new balls. So that happened. If you too are trying to shrink your stash and get rid of odd leftovers, don't be like me. Use up what you have, and only if you really run out, buy more yarn. Don't do it before you start the project. Also, future self, be smarter than past self. Don't do that again, maybe. I just finished weaving in all my ends, so I'm actually done now. Yay! The only thing that's still missing are the buttons, but I'm not sure which ones I want to use yet. So I think I'm just gonna block it first and then decide once it's dry. I can also show you what it looks like. I can try it on for you. So, oh god. This is what it looks like before blocking. I do have a few issues with it, but I think that should be fine after. So one thing is that the button placket is kind of pulling together, which kind of makes it too short, but I'm pretty sure that I can just block it out. Another thing is that it did end up a little bit shorter than I wanted to. I don't hate the fit. I think one of the reasons is also that the neckline is pretty low. So obviously if you measure it, it's gonna end up shorter even though it hits at the same point on my hips. So I don't hate it, definitely, it's fine. I think I'm just gonna try to block it a little bit longer. It's only like 1 or 2 centimeters shorter than what I planned for it to be, so it's not a huge issue. As you saw in the last clip, I ended up needing the new yarn for like this much, but I think you cannot, maybe you can tell a little bit, but it's fine. I don't think anyone will be able to tell where the new dialogue came in, so that's cool. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say for now. I'm gonna block this. It's probably gonna need a few days to dry, and then I'll come back to you with the finished product with buttons and all. So see you then. We have reached the end of the video. As you saw in my last clip, I finally added the buttons and finished the cardigan. And now I'm gonna have the reveal. I have the cardigan here. I already tried it on. I'm gonna show you as well. So this is what the cardigan looks like. This is with the buttons open. Blocking, I think, really helped with the drape of the fabric, which is much nicer now. It's not as stiff. And also the sleeves grew significantly, so I think they're the perfect length now. Before blocking, they went until about here, and they grew just the right amount. So I think this is really cute, and then you can also button it up. I think this is how the cool kids wear them in this season, right? This is how you wear cardigans in 2024, if I'm not mistaken. This cardigan is cut relatively deep. I was aware of that going into it. I think this can be difficult to style, but it can also add a layer of interest because you can definitely see the shirt peeking out underneath, and I kind of like that look with sweaters and cardigans when you don't only have the cardigan, but like a little bit of the layer underneath peeks out. I like that vibe. So that's what it looks like that. It also looks fine buttoned up. So obviously you can also wear it like this. I think it has just the right amount of positive ease, so it's exactly what I wanted. I measured it earlier, but I forgot again. I think it's about 90 centimeters. I'll pop it up here on the screen and measure it again. I'm also really happy with the length that I got. So I know I was kind of unsure, but I think blocking helped with the drape again, and also just being able to button it up and look at it like this. I think I really like the length. And yeah, I think I like the one button the most because this is such a versatile, neutral color. I also think it's quite fun to have a colorful shirt underneath, or maybe a white, but my white t-shirt is in the laundry right now, so I went for this. This is knit on 5mm, so I would say it's a slightly thicker cardigan, but it's perfect for the spring weather right now, where in the evening it gets colder, and then it's a great layering piece, I think. So I'm really happy with this. It was a really quick knit. All in all, this took me exactly 3 weeks, and I'm really happy with it. I'm very glad that I chose to unravel the vest that I had, because I'm definitely gonna get more wear out of this, and I really like to repurpose things that kind of don't have a use in my home. So I'm really glad I took that step instead of just going out and buying even more yarn. I'm gonna admit that this yarn, so mostly the kid silk, is a little bit itchy. I've had that issue with other sweaters before. I would not recommend to use the Drops kid silk mohair for garments that you want to wear on skin. I think it's okay because it's only on the sleeves, but I definitely need to wear something underneath, and here on my stomach it's a little bit itchy, even though I'm very insensitive to wool, I would say. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna buy any more kid silk in the future, but I am gonna try to use up what I have. So this was a great piece to do exactly that and use it up. As for the stash busting, this cardigan used up very roughly 300 to 350 grams of Drops Lima, and then about 75 grams of the kid silk. So I still have quite a bit left. I think the way that I put it into Ravelry is that this cardigan used up 400 grams of yarn, which would be 8 balls down. So that now leaves me with 84 balls of yarn in my stash. I've rambled enough, I think. So all in all, I'm really happy with this piece. I think I'm gonna wear this a lot, and I don't really have anything else to say. I think I'm gonna end this video here, so thank you so much for spending time with me. If you want to see more of these types of project vlogs, make sure to leave a comment down below what project you want to see next, and if you want to see overall my stash busting journey and all the things that I'm working on for that, make sure to subscribe and come back next week. So see you then.